What if traffic to your best-selling products on Amazon, on your website, on everywhere that you are selling disappeared overnight? That is exactly what's happening to thousands of brands right now because AI is completely reshaping how customers buy. And that was all before OpenAI made a massive announcement that will officially change e-commerce as we know it. If you haven't been paying attention, OpenAI's ChatGPT is quietly rolling out native checkout. That means that your customers will soon be able to go from "what should I buy" to "thanks for your purchase" without ever leaving the chat. Luckily, OpenAI has also told us exactly what we need to do to make sure that we are prepared to take advantage of this huge change when it is ready to go live. In this video, I'll be sharing with you exactly what you need to do now to make sure that you not only stay ahead, but that you protect your traffic, that you are adding a new revenue stream, and that you are set up for success in this very new e-commerce landscape that we are entering into. Because OpenAI's ChatGPT is already fielding over 1 billion shopping related search queries a week. 1 billion queries of people going into ChatGPT asking what they should buy every single week. I hope that this is sinking in for you. And this is still in the early adoption stages, and this is still before all of these new updates that we're getting into. So this is a huge potential. But now with this new launch, customers are not only going to be able to ask ChatGPT what they should buy or where they should buy it, but they're going to actually be able to complete that purchase directly within ChatGPT. So that means that all that time and money and effort that you poured into ranking on page 1 of Amazon or Google, it's not that it doesn't matter. It certainly does. However, it is not going to be enough to help you succeed in this new arena. I'm not suggesting that you abandon all of those efforts and strategies. However, I am saying that you are going to need to follow these exact steps if you want to make sure that you are able to conquer this new e-commerce channel. And the wild part is that most sellers don't even know that this is happening, which means that if you're watching this video, then you are in a prime position to be able to get ahead of your competition and make sure that you are poised and primed to maximize this sales channel to your full advantage. In fact, there's a form that you have to fill out directly from OpenAI if you want ChatGPT to even have a chance of recommending your product. I'll let you know where to find this and what it unlocks in a bit, but first, let's talk about why this is so important. So my youngest brother recently celebrated a big birthday, and for that birthday, I wanted to buy him a gift that was really special, something that he would be able to use for many years to come, and we've recently been bonding over cooking. And so I thought, nothing enhances the cooking experience like a really fantastic chef's knife. But this is where I made my own fatal flaw, and I suddenly found myself trapped in the Reddit threads of the chef knife universe, and they are very strongly opinionated. They have a lot of ideas, and you read that one knife is the best, and then you read another knife's the best. And I mean, I believe that I spent over 7 or 8 hours over the course of a few days trying to find my brother that perfect knife that will last him a lifetime and that he'll really love using. And so, of course, Reddit only scrambled my brain and added a whole host of things that I didn't even know that I needed to be considering, only tugging me back and forth. And so then I also decided, well, let me go to ChatGPT and let me see what it has to say. I also went to Perplexity because I was curious to know whether it'd recommend similar things or different things. And Something really surprised me when I went to both of these tools, which is that I, at this point, was already familiar with what are the top choices. There are five or so different brands and models. For what it's worth, I was looking for a Japanese style chef's knife for my brother. And so I understood what knives I was going to be considering, but I was in this place of needing to actually make a decision. And I was hoping that ChatGPT or Perplexity would be able to help me do that. But rather than prompting it and saying I'm trying to deliberate between these different knives, I wanted to see what they would recommend me. And that's where I was really surprised to discover that, unlike all of these different publications and even the Reddit threads coming from people who are really experienced chefs who have a lot of knowledge about different types of knives and steel and handle and all of these different things, the results on ChatGPT and Perplexity told a very different story. In both cases, they surfaced knives from brands that I'd never heard of and that would likely never have appeared on any of the Bon Appetit or Serious Eats or Wirecutter lists. These were small Amazon first brands that have done enough things right so that they were recommended in the top 5 results on both ChatGPT and Perplexity, knocking out very entrenched favorites that the whole chef's world agrees on. So, this is a pretty big deal. And this is all before native checkout has even been integrated into ChatGPT. So, this really giving a leg up to businesses that know what they need to do, are thinking on the cutting edge, obviously, like you who's watching this video right now. And this is really your opportunity to take advantage of this gap between those like you who are thinking ahead and seeing where e-commerce is heading, and those other ones who maybe are too busy, who are just, they don't want to acknowledge that the change is happening, or they're simply not aware of it, and they are going to fall behind. So you, if you know what you're doing and you understand the steps you need to take, you can really widen that gap and really gain a massive advantage. There is a huge window of opportunity. This is exactly how products, even like yours, can enter into conversations that you would have never been invited to, but only if you act now. OpenAI just recently announced a new rollout for ChatGPT, and it is going to totally reshape e-commerce. There's just no other way of putting this. ChatGPT can already recommend specific products, show us pictures and descriptions and reviews of those products, and direct shoppers straight to the product pages. It can even ask follow-up questions like budget, your preferences, your product vibe, and then use this information to really help you narrow down what item is going to be the best fit for your needs. It's part search, part discovery, and 100% disruptive. Not only that, but these product recommendations, they are not ads. You can't pay to get there, at least not yet. And this then raises a very important question. How do you get your products recommended by ChatGPT and other AI shopping assistants? I'll answer that and reveal how OpenAI is actually determining what products show up in just a second. But first, let's look a little bit closer at exactly what this change is. I think this quote from e-commerce North America sums it up really well. The free chat experience is about to get monetized. OpenAI is planning to take a direct cut of product sales made inside ChatGPT as it integrates in-chat checkout and builds out full stack e-commerce functionality, no affiliate redirects, no external cart hops, just ask, recommend, buy inside the chat. This is no longer about just showing up in the AI search. OpenAI is turning ChatGPT into a full-fledged marketplace. This shopping platform is going to integrate native checkout, which is going to allow customers to buy products directly within the chat. As Financial Times says, this isn't just another feature, it is a direct challenge to Google's 200 billion search advertising business and Amazon's marketplace dominance. And yes, OpenAI is going to take every cut from the sale. That's a $200 billion threat to Google and Amazon, and a massive opportunity for brands that prepare early. So how does ChatGPT rank products? Here's what OpenAI says. ChatGPT considers product details like price, customer reviews, and even vibe. Yes, they literally said vibe to decide what to show. But that's just the surface. ChatGPT also pulls from structured metadata like product descriptions, review summaries, brand and product content published online. So if your product data is weak, unclear, or absent, ChatGPT literally has no reason or maybe even ability to recommend you. And worse, if you leave blanks, it may actually rewrite your brand information, which could be disastrous for your reputation and customers really truly understanding and being able to evaluate whether your offering is a good fit for them. I would say that this is the equivalent of, let's say that you are looking to hire somebody to work at a trade show for you, and you bring that person in, except you don't give them any information about your product or your brand except for what's visible within the booth. So if they're a confident salesperson, they're not going to act like they don't know what they're doing or what they're selling. They're going to talk to customers very confidently. They are going to perhaps maybe fudge some of the details, massage their way around those specific facts that they don't know, and they may not present your brand and your products in the exact right light because they are simply motivated to make a sale. It's really not all that different from ChatGPT. ChatGPT is rarely, if ever, going to tell you, I don't know. It is much more likely, even if it does know, to hallucinate information. However, the more that you have done your homework and filled in this information, the better likelihood that ChatGPT is going to have what it needs to present you in a true, clear light. So aside from making sure that you have done all of your back end homework, what can you do to make sure that OpenAI can recommend your products? That's where the form comes in. Now, to even be considered to fill out this official entry form, you have to do two things. One, you need to make sure OpenAI's crawler can access your site and your product pages, which might prove tricky if you host your website on sites like Shopify, because unsurprisingly, this change is creating some massive reactions in the e-commerce space, and some websites are deciding that they do not want to allow this kind of transactional behavior, essentially robots or computers making purchases on behalf of people through other websites. So you need to check that and make sure that you have that enabled on your website. And two is you have to fill out OpenAI's official interest form to submit your product feed when submissions open. Think of this form not just as your entry to ChatGPT's results, but as your early ticket into the AI-driven commerce age. Because once checkout goes live, that means being first to the feed and point of sale. This form is your ticket to the future of AI shopping. If you want me to send you that form, there is a link down below where you can request that, and I will send you a direct link. But that link is only one piece of the puzzle. The other piece is to make sure that you are doing everything you can to make sure that ChatGPT wants to recommend your products over everyone else's. So how do you actually make ChatGPT recommend you? If you want ChatGPT to understand, recommend, and actually help sell your products, that you need to make sure that your content is written in a clear and complete way, especially if you were doing a lot of SEO hacking back in the day, or you're still following a more keyword stuffing strategy that could really work to your disadvantage. You want to make sure that your content is written in a way that is going to be clearer to both the customer and the AI so that everybody can get a comprehensive understanding of exactly what your product is down to the core, not simply a set of binary keywords. You're also going to need to use reviews to your advantage. ChatGPT pulls from them directly. We know that reviews are so incredibly valuable in every part of the shopping experience, and they are not going anywhere. In fact, what you might be noticing here as we're going through this list, that really what it takes to be successful in this new age of AI is less of those gamey hacks and more of really solid foundational business practices. So thinking about how can you delight and excite your customers so that they want to leave positive, detailed reviews. How can you describe your products in ways that's going to really speak to your customers? So in many ways, AI is really enhancing and reinforcing a lot of marketing best practices that you're not going to be able to game around as easily as you might have been able to in the past, which is great news for businesses that are thinking big picture and long term, and really is going to give you a leg up over all of those people that were maybe a bit of a nuisance as they were always hacking and finding their way to bump you out of the top spot. But your hard work is going to pay off. And if you're new, you're just starting out, or maybe you are a reformed SEO hacker, then there is still an opportunity here, especially because you are early. You need to also be thinking about what assets you can maintain control of, and your product images are a great way to make sure that even if you give the AI everything that it needs to know and it still distorts things or makes information up, your product images are a way to really preserve your brand voice, to communicate who you are selling to give that vibey aesthetic that might be very important to your customers, and to also use call outs that could be really persuasive and effective to helping customers feel confident that you're the right choice. So that means smart infographics and really making sure that your full product image stack is really going to have what it takes to sell your product and do some seriously heavy lifting. And of course, you have to fill out that form, because if you want customers to be able to buy your product, even with that commission that we mentioned, then you need to have your products entered into the feed, and that form is the portal to do that. So make sure that you click on that link below and request a link to that form, and I will be sending those directly out to you. I know you're probably thinking, wow, AI has already changed so much. How much more change can there actually be? But the fact of the matter is that we are still only at the very beginning. So make sure that you subscribe and stay tuned, because I will be sure to keep you up to date on what you need to know to make sure that you are positioned to take full advantage of every single change that's out there. And if you want to know exactly what you need to do to make your product images the very best salespeople possible across all of these different AI shopping platforms, then click on the video that's popping up right here, because I'll show you exactly what you need to do. It is a must watch. I better see you over there. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Bye.